All right, let's look at her three options. Sorry, I gotta move the image here. All right, let's look at our three options. So maximum is 63. She gets this lifetime benefit of 653.61, 691. These are average monthly payments. In reality, these payments are going to look very different. And I need you to understand that a little bit. And so we're going to go into her record and take a look at these payments, because once the survivorship benefit kicks in, the number is dramatically different. So she has a period of time earlier in life where she's probably going to need some additional income support, but later in life, her number is going to go, could be, I think, even double this, if not more. Okay, so let's take a look at that. Option A is kind of, we talked about already. She's gonna, if she waits till she's 67, she's gonna lose some money here. And we'll talk about why that is. And then if she goes to option B, she loses a little bit. You know, it's really just a preference of, if she really wanted to work more, she could go on Social Security and work, so it really wouldn't make a difference. So option B is really not recommended at all. And option C could be recommended because she gets a year back of her life, right? If she didn't want to work and she had enough income, she was able to deal with the real estate and lots of other issues that she's got. All right, so before we get too far down the road here, I do want to switch a little bit to here, and I want to walk through with you her her income, her calculation a little bit here. So if she retires at 63, you know, we have to wait for her birthday. So let's look at her traditional situation. She's going to retire at 63. She is going to get a benefit of 17,704 her first full year. You'll notice that she had planned to work till she was 67. So these numbers are going to keep moving because it's going to readjust her lifetime earnings. So you'll see these numbers kind of change a little bit, and then they settle in when she turns 68, because she's no longer going to be working at that point. These numbers would not adjust if she ended up leaving. Let's say she thought she was going to work till 67, but you know, she worked, she got her payments, and she decided she's going to go. So you can see that her net annual benefit, you know, is going to be affected in some ways by her earnings. So her net annual benefit in the years where she's working is going to get reduced because of she's working. And then at 67 and she retires, she's going to get 18,000. So you can see already, you know, these years that she was counting on Social Security while she was working, she's going to be not so happy, right? If she's making 47, maybe she's at 52,000 a year during those years. Then when she turns 67 and she doesn't have the additional income, we're going to assume she retires around her birthday. She's going to get this consistent payment of 23,796, right? Then we're going to assume that in, you know, in 2047, her ex-husband is going to pass, right? And you're going to see he passes around his birthday. And you're going to see that she's going to get an extra 35,280. That's a huge bump. So this living scenario, her living scenario is 24, close to $24,000 a year. Suddenly she's moving up to $59,000 a year. So she's got like a doubling that's going to happen with her, right? And she's going to end up with 653, 691 in the end. But like I said, most of that money is coming from this piece, right? You will notice that when we move up in age, she's going to get way more in Social Security for herself. She waited longer. So she lost years. And those years are why we see a slight reduction. And what we're going to see now is that she's going to get way more. Her spousal will be reduced slightly, right? And her total is going to be less, but one thing you have to consider is the distribution. In the end, her total is always going to be the same here, but the amount she gets for survivorship is less to get to that number. So, you have a distribution issue here, right? You're living off of your salary here, you're getting $23,000, $24,000 here, and then you're going to go up to the big number once he passes. And here you're getting a little bit more because you waited. You're not getting the reductions. And so, that may be of interest, but you have to sort of look at your yearly scenario and sort of say, okay, well, what can I live on? And what's my budget tell me I can do? And then lastly, we'll look at these last two. This is when she went a little bit earlier. You can see here, this is what is interesting here is because her payment was slightly lower than what it would have been if she had taken some of her husband's, she'll get $120 off of his earning record to get her up to what she should be, right? So that's a big piece of information to look at because she's still working. She's going to get the reduction. And so these are going to be her payments per year. Again, we're going to be looking at this 59,076 number as the total. And then the last scenario is if she went early, she's going to get a little help from her spouse's earnings to get her back up to where she needs to be. She still has all these earning deductions because she's still working. And then she's going to end up with that the payment that we kind of said. But again, these deductions only exist while she's working. If she decided not to work, it became harder to work, or it became less important for her to sort of make her own money, and she didn't have the income problems that she has now because she wants to spend $100,000 a month, and she certainly isn't going to be bringing that in. Okay. So we are going to go back now to our presentation. Okay. And